Oh, and yeah, the Admiral. Of course, I'm just.
Oh, here,
The thing is, like,
let's bring him up a second, okay?
yeah, I had this like initial fear that the Admiral was kind of like he was going to change, mechanically, and I had already I say practicing, but like during my Age of Annihilation presentations when I was showcasing the Vanguard Edition stuff at my game store back in the day, and when I went to ScapeCon, I used him in combat. I drafted him, and he is great. He scares the hell out of everybody because I mean they see that defense, they're like, what? And I promise you, no matter like I don't know what it is, but I've learned that if I can grab at the Admiral and I put him on a place of height that's easily defendable, I mean 7 defense is not fun to roll against. And I mean he blocks a lot. He blocks so many hits, and I was so excited. I was like, oh man. And then of course, seeing that they were going to bring him back, and I was like, okay, this is really awesome. I mean, his bio is really cool. We got a really interesting take that was presented for the Soulborg here. His mechanics are pretty much the same. I think they've updated the point cost. I think he's back. He's to the original point cost, which was intended to be 170. But everything else from what I checked seems to be exactly the same. So I'm like, I already know how to use this guy. He's definitely the first. He's the one I'm going to be fielding a lot, especially if I'm presenting the game. So Dadscaper's gotta.
Yeah.
It's like I like this unit. I tell you that, Dadscaper. I love this unit. So
I appreciate that you guys are flattering me. 2 quick things about this one, which probably won't end up being quick, because my day job is I'm a lawyer, and so I do my best. But things take a long time. First of all, this is one of 2 designs among the pirates that, like, I had a vision for this mini that was sort of a different theme, and I presented that to Craig, and Doc had his own vision for this mini.
Yeah.
And they were both such good designs that I couldn't decide as the leader of sort of faction which one I liked more, whether to do mine or whether to do Doc's. So I sent them both to Craig, and Craig was like, well, let's do this one, and it was Doc's. That's awesome. So this is what you're looking at here is a Doc design, not one of mine, which I'm at peace with because I love this design and I love that you love it too. One thing that has not, many of the designs had their names changed from my vision at the beginning by somebody, either Avalon Hill, which happened with a lot of them, or maybe later, as far as I can recall. This is a design, name has never changed, with the exception of his title, but Admiral has not always been Admiral, but now it's Admiral. What has always been the same is EJ-1M, which, as some of you know, is a reference to like OG Heroscape legend Jim McMahon, whose name is hidden in there, and that's something that's never changed. And I suppose I'll get my own turn. And there are things that I am grateful for, things that I wish were different or whatever, and I suppose I'll get my own turn. But one thing that I'm grateful for is that this design's name has never changed, and no one's ever talked about it, even though, and really it was Avalon Hill, went through and like overhauled a bunch of names I had for things. But this wasn't one of them. So I'm grateful that the Admiral's name is the same and that Jeremy likes him so much.
He's a cool character.
Awesome.
For sure. No, and if I recall, is this is one of the OG heroes. He passed away recently, right? So this is like a it's a reference
in memoriam.
In memoriam, and that's really special. I think that is something to really respect about the Heroscape community, is that they honor all their members, and I've seen dedicatories and special mentions to individuals that have passed on, and it's like not only are we playing this game for the hobby and being able to introduce it to new people, but we play for the legacy of those that were playing with us during that time frame and continued to play. And I think that's a really special thing about the community, that we maintain that awareness. It's really, really, it's comforting to know, there's those mementos.
That's one thing I appreciate too, is the fact that this, I mean, it's like now, what, 20 some years? I mean, it's turning into a legacy.
20th year.
Yeah, it's turning into a legacy. And that is one thing that I feel one of the reasons why we want to keep on doing what we're doing, to promote this, because even if people who originally designed this didn't know what it was going to mean to people, back in like 2004 when they were developing this, it does mean something, and it means something probably differently to everybody, but it's still profound. And yeah, that legacy continues.